Lemley Jr., who was trying to bring more prestige projects to Universal, which was known for bread and butter westerns and comedies. But this film, because MGM wanted to make its own version of it, MGM bought the rights, which included the negative and the fine grain positive, from Universal in the 30s. And this film was not seen until, I guess, early 90s, late 90s, when they found the extant preprint material, and Dick May, who was then the VP in charge of preservation, put the film through the lab and made a beautiful work you're going to see here. And so we have to thank Turner because, in my estimation, there's no other entity on this planet that has done more to preserve and make available American cinema, classic and just run-of-the-mill. But the thing is, we have to see the run-of-the-mill to know what's classic, because 10 years ago, something that was considered run-of-the-mill is now a classic, or at least worth seeing for some valuable element. Now, for example, in this film tonight, you'll see some crane shots. You say, oh, crane shot, no, that's nice, very effectively used, especially in the last scene, which I won't spoil for you. But are you aware that only Universal had a crane? It was built for a big musical called Broadway. So this crane was available for use in Dracula in some scenes, and it was available for use in this film. This film was part of the 1931 cycle of Fallen Women. There was also a horror cycle, which was started by Universal, and the gangster cycle started by Warner Brothers. But 31 was the year of pre-code cycles, because the code, there was a code, but it was not being enforced very strongly by the Studio Relations Committee. And for example, this film, Jason Joy said, well, it handles the theme of prostitution in a subdued way or in a tasteful way, as long as we don't see actual scenes of solicitation being, enacted, we're okay. Well, you'll see there are such scenes. And I want to thank also USC, Ned Comstock in the library, because helping me do research to speak to you tonight about the crane in particular, and the script versions this went through of this film. But the interesting thing about this film is that it was James Whale's first film in Universal. And of course, as we know, he would become world famous for Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Kiss Before the Mirror, a number of other films. But in this film, you're going to see a different side of him. He was a stage director. So he really lets his actors play scenes, moving the camera around them so that they can act without being cut, having different cuts, different angles. Almost in the way Edmund Goulding was doing later with The Razor's Edge and Nightmare Alley. So this is the emotional power of this film is higher, stronger, because of these long takes that James Whale did with these. Mae Clark was a very fine actress, and she had been on the stage as a child. And Kent Douglas was from Los Angeles, and he had been acting for years too. So even though they're very young people, they really had their acting chops. So here's a great film, a film that we would not be able to see if it were not for Turner.